I actually think it's really interesting to talk about this in regards to Crick, because he's the guy that's known for discovering the structure of DNA. You'll be taught about him in high school in regards to DNA. And what they don't mention is that the bloke went on to then talk about how aliens made life on Earth. That is incredibly more interesting.
There's so many examples of this where like a really eminent scientist also had some like flippin' wacky ideas.
I love it. This is the kind of thing that you don't actually, because we don't study scientists' work. We just sort of study the facts, and sometimes we're like, oh, this guy discovered that.
Yeah.
You don't see the progression of people's careers often, and I feel like this was something that was more common, I guess, a century or a few centuries ago. Scientists would just go batshit.
Yeah, Darwin had some really weird beliefs.
Yeah, I feel like they'd hit on one good one, or maybe two if they were lucky.
Yeah.
And just delve into madness. Just start talking about just mad stuff.
Well, that's the thing about creativity, is you're kind of like trying out lots of different ideas. And then the great thing that science did, if you have a brain that kind of fires off random ideas that could be possible, they have to be bounded by evidence eventually.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just believing in things that could possibly be true. Regardless of whether there's any proof. So the great thing science did was it kind of created a way to crystallize. If you've got a brain that's firing off all these wacky ideas, some of them might be true, and then you sort of crystallize those ones into like a proper theory.
Yeah.
But the underpinning of that is, if you're going to come up with wacky world-shattering ideas, you might also have a bunch that are a pile of rubbish.
Yeah, but what's interesting to me is that Crick, his thing, the thing that he's known for, I think this is what he won the Nobel Prize for, is X-ray crystallography. I'm pretty sure, as in figuring out the structure of a thing.
Yeah,
So it's very basic, sort of. I say very basic, relatively
it's
speaking.
on the small scale.
Well, yeah.
Whereas like the
DNA's
space
very
thing
little.
is, the space thing's on a big grand universal scale.
What I mean is that, X-ray crystallography, or rather, figuring out the structure of DNA is more about just observing something.
Yeah.
And obviously observing, inferring, there's a lot more to it than that. It's just kind of observing something, inferring. It's very straightforward. And then the fact that afterwards he went on to just make this hypothesis that the world's, all the life on Earth was made by aliens that sent it here.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
I have a potential explainer for this.
Go for it.
So I remembered this in the depths of my mind somewhere, and I've just checked it. Francis Crick and other scientists did do some LSD.
Yeah.
As like they call it like a thinking tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's why he thought aliens sent life to Earth in a little spaceship.
I wonder if that's why people get into science in the first place. Like they have really crazy ideas, or they have like big, vivid imaginations about how the world could work, and so they have a passion for it, so they're naturally drawn into the sciences or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, it's really odd and interesting to me how, as I've said, just people will do something that is groundbreaking, can change sort of science as we know it, and then just stuff that is just, it's like, wait, hold on, so was this an accident, or is the rest, which one of these is the anomaly?
Yeah.
Or are they all the same and you just happen to be right on this one? You know? Like, which one is it?
I think it's probably that. I think they're firing off theories, and some of them will stick.
It's like when you look at Newton, who, Newton did so much work. He did, and it's the foundations of so much of our current understanding of physics. And then some of the other stuff he spoke about is just, like, I think he believed in alchemy. He was looking for the Philosopher's Stone at one point.
Really?
Yeah, and I think Nikola Tesla believed in like he believed in some weird stuff. He believed in like the ether, didn't he? Like the sort of spiritual plane.
Yeah, I think he did.
Or something like that.
No, this is Nikola Tesla, who came up with wireless communication and transmission long
he
before.
wired it through the ether.
Yeah, it was long before anyone else.
Given the idea from the ether.
Oh, from the ether. Okay.
And then there were these beliefs that he had, and then Newton's writing suggests that one of the main goals of his alchemy may have been the discovery of the Philosopher's Stone. Bro was looking for the Philosopher's Stone, and also like creating like bloody laws of thermodynamics, like those. Like what's going on there?
Very different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I feel like scientists nowadays are marginally less crazy, marginally.
Maybe.
Because there's one reason for this. science is no longer restricted to really, really rich people that just do it because, like, what else are they going to do?
That's
They've got too much
true.
free time.
Free time and they got money.
Yeah.
I'll just do a science and education, and no one else has it. So, like, they're the top of the world with all the resources. Whereas scientists now,
They need to get funded.
they need to get funding. Like, you need to reel it in to get the funding, unless you're like absolutely loaded. In which case, I think we should
do what
just.
you want.
Like, I think what we should do is give every scientist just a massive grant
Yeah.
to do whatever,
Yeah.
and then just see what happens.
It
they
comes
do-
with their
Yeah,
doctorate.
I mean, they do that
Yeah.
in like Pixar, for example. You like have a certain portion of your time allocated to just make whatever you like.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that would be great if scientists like buy this drug. I mean, I don't know whether they do. Maybe in some institutions they do. But if in general you're employed in the field of science, 10% of your time should be messing around.
So we spoke about this, the floating frogs episode. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was that came specifically as a part of that scientist. I can't remember his name. Maybe
That
it
was
was
an
Barry.
Ig Nobel Prize, wasn't it?
It was an Ig Nobel
Jam,
Prize.
could
Yeah.
you explain what an Ig Nobel Prize is, please?
Oh my goodness! The Ig Nobel prizes are kind of like the Nobel prizes, where you get an award for achieving something, but the Ig Nobel prizes, they're silly. They make you laugh and then they make you think.
Why are you so unenthusiastic when you
Yeah.
These are getting less enthusiastic and shorter every time you ask.
You're getting better, but you're also getting
Am I getting
less
better?
enthusiastic.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. But if you had more enthusiasm, I feel like you'd be spot on.
Yay! Ig Nobels.
So I think that was from one of the only people to have won both a Nobel Prize and an
Yeah,
Ig Nobel
yeah.
Prize.
Yeah.
And he devoted maybe 1 day a week
Oh.
that's
to, or 1 day a week, or it was rotational, so that maybe one of the people in his lab 1 day a week would choose just a silly project to spend time on. And it was the guy that invented. I think it was the guy that ran the lab that invented graphene.
Graphene. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just
Which
playing
was-
with sellotape.
Yeah, and it was from a similar idea. They were also just levitating frogs with magnetic fields. Yeah, so that's that's
ridiculous.
That's what we should be doing. I think.
love how you can set up the entire structure of organized science and funding models and ethics boards, and then sometimes someone just messing around is like, Eureka!
It's like, I made this amazing thing. Wait, how did you do it? I stuck some tape on some charcoal and I ripped it off.
And that is the birth of like what will eventually be like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Potentially by
Humble
accident. Yeah.
beginnings.
It's like the story of the guy that I guess discovered or invented Velcro via biomimicry. I think the story is that he saw a bird get stuck to like a dog or something.
Wow.
Yeah, let me just double check that.
There's
That's
also
so
the story
funny.
of how the glue on like post-it notes was invented was somebody was trying to make glue and they made a really bad glue.
Blue tack was also an accident. Like, if you look up accidental inventions,
They were crap at their job.
That's so funny.
yeah, that was it. So
It comes right off. Ah.
George de Mestral in the 1940s, whilst hunting in the Jura Mountains in Switzerland, that's when he invented Velcro, because I think it's based on it was the tiny hooks of burrs were just stuck on his trousers. He was like, these plants have stuck to me. Let's make clothes from it. Like, it's so many inventions are scientists seeing something in nature and then copying it.
Yeah.
We call it, I think, biomimicry. which is a really great way to say I stole it, but from nature.
Plagiarism from nature.
Yeah.